Hey guys, good evening one and all, and welcome to the video. My name is Somil Shah. I work as a software engineer, and in this video I would like to introduce you to data lake, or also called as how you can query your data lake using Athena via group crawler. Well, data has been growing massively, right? From the order of megabytes to gigabytes to petabytes, and it's growing massively. In order to analyze this data, there has been new tools and technology available in the cloud, such as Apache Spark. Athena is one of them. You can run glue crawler, right? Hadoop is there, EMR is there, and a lot more, right? So essentially in this video, I would like to teach you how essentially you can build your data lake on AWS S3 and query your data lake via Athena. How you should organize your folder structure. All of this in this video. So let's get started. Hopefully you guys can see my screen, and give me one sec while I reset my webcam, because I had a little problem here. So let me reset my webcam. I have a beautiful slides ready for you guys, so it should be a nice video. So yeah, let's get started, man. So this video essentially is build your data lake using AWS S3 and Athena via glue crawler. So essentially I have been reading from these several blogs. These Medium blogs provided a great information, and that's where I learned. So let's get started, man. When we are dealing with large amount of data, then we need some tools for querying and analyzing that big data. According to the author Tomer, and it's hard to pronounce the last name. He says that we were looking for a way to make our data analyst work more efficient, as Redshift was not holding under the pressure. They hold a total of 8 billion records, and we wanted to cut down the cost of holding a gigantic Redshift cluster, currently holding 32 nodes. So essentially, as you can see, that must be a massive cost, right? It must be coming at a cost. So now what he's saying is Redshift inefficiency. So he says inefficiency, each of the node Redshift holds both processing, CPU IO, and disk space, which are coupled together. In other words, if you want a more disk capacity, you have to increase the size of the cluster, essentially more nodes, costing us more money. There has to be something better than this. That's when they started that's when the author started exploring about Athena and data lakes. So this is the one that I've taken from the blog post, right? As I said, the reference is right here. This is the nice blog post that was illustrated all about data lake. So let's keep reading. We can use Amazon Athena as a query service that makes it easy to analyze data in Amazon S3. The best part of this is that we do not need to learn any new query language for querying this data, because Athena supports standard SQL. So also Athena is serverless, which means we do not need to manage the infrastructure, and we only pay for what the queries that we run on. Benefits of Athena. Essentially, internally Athena uses Presto as a SQL query engine that is designed to execute interactive queries on data source of all sizes. It supports following format: JSON, Avro, CSV, and Parquet, and much more. This is taken from the reference too. Now this is extremely important for us to understand essentially the partition, or how you should create your folder structure. Absolutely important, and I would take a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about that. And I have a small Excel. Maybe I could explain you in a better way. So hopefully you can see my screen, right? So can you guys tell me, so first of all, I have my bucket, then I have my project files, then I have a year, month, day, folder A, and some files, right? Similarly, this folder structure repeats, right? So essentially we have separated our bucket. So in order to create a data lake, you always want to have the year, month, and the day, partition. So that way you can query your data. When the data lake grows massively after like 3 to 4 years, you can say, hey, give me the data for year this to this, So all that could be done. Now tell me one more thing. I have one more folder structure here. So in this, guys, now you should ring a bell here. So here it's the same thing, right? Project files, but instead what I've done, wait, this is not the one. Oh yeah, it's down, this one. Sorry for that. So now instead of the year first, I'm organizing things by folder. So I have a folder A, year, month, day, and then I have files. Folder B, year, month, day, and file. This is not the efficient way to do it. And the reason why you wouldn't choose this folder structure is, think about it. Whenever you say you want to get data for the year, let's say year 2019 02 to 2020 02. Now essentially you have to scan all the tables here, then again you have to go to the folder B, it's going to scan all. So it's not efficient. But if you go with this folder structure or this partition structure, essentially when you say, hey, give me for the year 2019 and 2020, essentially you have the partition, right? So you can directly narrow it down to this scale right here. You don't need to query all the data lake, right? So essentially by having year, month, and day, you really would speed up your queries that you're running via Athena, right? So your queries will be much more faster. My recommendation, please have partitions as year, month, day, and then whatever folder, and then maybe file 1, file 2, whatever. This is the standard approach usually people and company takes for data lakes. Now I would like to show you a demo right now. Enough of talking, man. I like to show things out, right? So let's take a demo and see things in action. Before we see, I want to show you a small thing before we go deep into all this stuff. So I'm gonna go to my computer. I have created essentially a small project for you. So what this does is I have 3 files. File 1, it's very easy. I just have one folder, one sawmill, age, and then the city. And similarly, I have a second one. Hopefully if it opens up. Similarly, let's say Suhas 60, and the third one also has a name. Now, I essentially will organize my data like in this folder structure. As I said, project, your base file, year, month, day, folder, and the files, right? And then I'll show you how to query your data lake, man. So let me show you my S3 first, sawmill share bucket. So essentially, since I was playing with it, so the data set should be, I actually named it data lake. Where is it? Yeah, right here. I hope you can see this, and I'll try to zoom in as much as I can. As you can see here, I have a folder called project files. I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, it goes off, but yeah. So project files, I have it here. In this project file, you see, I'm using the partition structure that I explained you. Year, project file, year, month, day. So 2020, January 12th, folder structure, then records. You have one file here, right? So you got the idea, right? How my data is structured, right? So whenever you want to create data lake, folder structure is extremely important, right? Similarly, the same structure in 2021 records file. Now let's create our data lake. This is our data lake. You will be having thousands of files, okay, inside this. So for every year, you will have 1,000, maybe, I don't know, 1,000,000 files in that, right? So this is a challenging situation for data analysts, right? How to query this massive amount of data in a best way. So with this folder structure, if you follow this folder structure, it's much more efficient. But rather, if you follow this and if you say, hey, give me data for the year 2019 and 18. So first you have to scan this part. Then you have to scan this. So you see, it's more expensive. So that's why I'm saying follow this folder structure. And this is what AWS recommends. And I've been seeing all the people in the company as well doing this. So that's that. Now we go to the glue. Now essentially we need to populate the metadatabase or the Presto database. So database, here let's call the database as mydb. Okay, we say create, it's created. Now what we need to do is we go to crawler. I already have a couple of crawlers. Let me just get rid of that one. Delete crawler. Okay. But trust me, it's a really nice exercise. If you really want to learn it, hey, watching won't help, man. Doing it would help. So my recommendation, if you want to learn, guys, do it with me. Pause the video, try it out. Okay, add crawler, data lake. Okay, so we have a data lake crawler, data store. We leave that one. For the folder structure, I would like to it to crawl over the, where is that data lake? So remember, in the project files, we have all these data lake, right? So I want to crawl over all this data lake, right? There may be thousands of files inside that. So select, but for the example, we're doing a small subset, right? Data store, service role. I think I did have an existing one. Yeah, it should be fine. Run on demand. Okay, so we'll choose this database and let's populate the table with the prefix tbl underscore. As I said, industry standards, right? Everyone, whenever they make table, they use the word TBL. Usually it's a standard procedure. Finish. Now our crawler is ready. So let's try to run the crawler. So now this essentially, guys, what it does, it would crawl over the S3 and it would populate the metadatabase and essentially create our partition structure that I just told you. Once that is done, now I'll show you how to use Athena over this and grab the data for a particular, grab the data from the data lake for a particular year or a month and essentially that. And once you run the query on Athena, the results are automatically saved on S3. Now the data scientist, you can say, hey, guys, he said, hey, okay, 2019 data, here you go, and have fun, So this is how you have to do it, right? You have to build a partition structure on S3 properly. You could do it on the Redshift as well, but as I said, cost. You want to use Redshift as a data warehouse when you have a lot of relations, right? You want to join something here and there, and so that's for those things. Okay, Redshift is fine, but for most of the thing, S3 and Athena can take care of most. It's pretty cheap, man. So yeah. So this might take a while actually. So it updated a table. We go to the table section right here, and there you go, man. Table project files. Now I would show you the Athena, man. Look at the power. See, AWS offers all the resources and tools, right? So Athena right here. And I just explained you what Athena is, and I don't like to go too much theory, man. I like to show stuff and like that's because people on the internet they talk a lot and they don't show the actual word that you need to see. But so now let me expand this. So do you see this partition 0, partition 1? So it did not recognize the name. So what you need to do is you go to crawler, click on this table, and now let's rename this partition because I know that my data lake follows this format. So partition 0, and remember I told you, right, year, month, day, records. So this one right here is my year, this one right here is my month, this one right here is my day. This is your partition. See, it's easy, man. Once you understand the concepts, things is just piece of cake. So save that, head over to Athena, click on the refresh button on the top. So now this one right here, now what we need to do is essentially, if you collapse this window, you would see, and as I said, I know if it's a little tiny, I'll try to zoom in. So now you can see these are appearing as a partition, right? So what you want to do, click on these 3 dots and you want to say load partitions. And on the bottom section, it's running the query and it would create a partitions for you, and the query was successful. Now what you want to do is, wait, what happened? Oh, the database. Yeah, so now let's do a preview. There you go, all the data, right? Now you wanna specify the data lake, right? So for example, since you have this partition, damn it. So you can say now you can easily filter this out by a partition where year is equal to. With just that being said, it should take care of your data lake. Now you should only get the result for 2021. There you go, guys, like a charm. You see how powerful, guys, everything becomes. It's so easy, man. I mean, please try it out by yourself. As I said, seems easy, by watching you'll be like, oh yeah, easy, couple of buttons here and there, but when you actually do, there would be like problems like IAM and this and that. So I really want you to try it out. And with that being said, thank you so very much for watching this video. If you feel that this is a really great content, please do share it with your other friends. Yeah, as usual, guys, if you have any more questions, list your questions in the comments and I would be very happy to assist you. Once again, keep smiling, keep programming, and I would see you guys in the upcoming next video. Thank you for watching.